Welcome, fellow crypto addicts, to the 11th project analysis on the Polkadot Parachain Slot Auctions. And this time we're taking a closer look into, a little bit of a latecomer, Efinity. They started competing with the second auction. And before we look into them, let me quickly point out to you that this video is not financial advice and that you should always do your own research before investing into anything. And now, without further ado, let's switch to the model. So this time we are analyzing Efinity. So Efinity does not have a sister project competing for a parachain on Kusama, but what is to note here that Efinity is developed by ENJIN, and some of you might know ENJIN is a pretty big player in the NFT world, and this is also the reason why Efinity will be an metaverse NFT infrastructure token. So what's their value proposal? What do they do? First of all, the most interesting thing is they want to develop a new token standard, the Paratoken standard. With this token standard, it should be very scalable. There should be less gas fees, and they want to provide the interoperability of NFT tokens. So this is a pretty reasonable value proposal. If you are bullish on the metaverse, on NFT, then this token is exactly what you're looking for, because they are more or less laying the foundation for developers to develop develop metaverse, develop products in this type of product range. So for the type and the value proposal, pretty much into the NFT metaverse world, but also a very solid value proposal, and they're not doing the same thing that all the other NFT companies are doing. So I'm really happy with the value that they bring to the chain. Unfortunately, they have not received any Web3 Foundation grants, but I guess they would not need them, as they are backed by ENJIN Coin, which is a big developer and or a project, and that's probably why they have not applied for Web3 Foundation grants, as this is more to get smaller projects off in the beginning. Nevertheless, they have 23 investors. Among them are also some quite good ones, so this is fine compared to the others. We see that this is a project with a greater number of investors, which is reasonable if you look at what the value they are bringing, and if you're bullish on the metaverse NFT world, then let's say some of those investors are very bullish in this direction. But yes, so much for the fundamentals. Continuing with the phenomics, so the Efinity token will be the EFI. They will have a maximum supply of 2 billion, and the inflation, I was not able to find that out clearly. If some of you guys know more about that, please leave a comment below. And coming to the allocation, so they're giving out 10% of their maximum supply for parachain rewards. So in comparison, that's quite low. But it all depends on the token price in the end. The team also reserved 10% of the maximum supply for themselves. This is fine, very in line with the other projects here, and 10% is a really good number in my opinion. Now 20% went to investors in various sale rounds, seed sale, first funding, and so on, and 20% in the hands of bigger investors usually. This is also a fine ratio, not too much. They have reserved about 40% for liquidity programs and another 20% for the development of the token. And all in all, I have to say that this allocation structure is pretty solid. Well, you could argue that users wanted to see some higher percentage there, but for projects that are already expecting a high value like MANTA, also MOONBEAM, it's makes sense that they are not giving out that many rewards. So that means that Efinity's project is already expecting that they are very valuable. And are they going to be? Well, we'll find out, but let's say the chances are good that this project will be an important one in the Polkadot ecosystem. But let's look at the rewards. So at the minimum allocation you get 4 EFI per dot contributed, and you will get that if the hard cap of 50 million dots is reached in this auction. It's not very likely that they will reach their hard cap, so that's why you probably will definitely get more than 4 EFI token. I calculated that you will get about around 25. So for that again we switch to the expected reward distribution table, and now we're here, Efinity. As I told you before, here's the hard cap. Here is the dollar amount of that hard cap. That would be $2.5 billion. That is quite a lot. And 5% of the dot market cap, 14% of supply available. So probably very unlikely that they will reach that. But what can you say? It's very hard to evaluate at what how many dots they need to raise, and for that I was looking at the graphs that I drew for my last video, and it seems like that the lowest amount you'll be able to win a parachain slot with is about 8 million dots contributed, and this is the amount I've used for like all the other small projects, LITENTRY, CLOVER, DARWINIA, Efinity, because if they raise less than 8 million, they are definitely not going to win a slot. So that's why we're using this number here. So, but basically it's possible that if they get a slot, that they can also do like 10 million. We see then there would be 20 tokens, but yeah, which basically would also make sense that I will need to raise at least 10 million, but then I would also have to adjust the other ones, and then for comparability and consistency, we're just calculating now with 8 million tokens, and you can do your own calculations and own expectations. As I have uploaded this sheet to Google Drive, you can find the link to that in the video description, but also I made a video where I explained to you the whole setup on Google Drive and how to use the model to model your own ideas and expectations. So feel free to check out the video I did on that. Okay, so all in all we say, okay, we expect around 25 EFI token, and as seen before, could also be just 20. We'll take off about $10 in their expected rewards, but okay, let's just say we're taking 22. That should be is reasonable, I think, if they win. The vesting is 100% linear. Okay, it's not the best, but it's fine. And special rewards, well, unfortunately they don't have any referral links or any early bird bonuses, but you'll enter an NFT draw, and I think there are about 250 NFTs to be won among all the people who contributed to their crowd loan. Just, in my opinion, not a very big incentive to contribute to them, because whatever chances that you will not get the NFTs are way higher than the chance that you will get the NFT, so you cannot calculate with the NFT if you contribute. So it's just the cherry on top if you contributed and win the NFT, then well, you're happy, but no one should contribute to Efinity just because they think they will get the NFT. As far as I know, they have no failure compensation. And yeah, coming to the price analysis, so expected market, this is quite hard to evaluate. I think I've checked that before. They are currently at the market cap of I think it was 300 million, but could be mistaken. You can check that again. That token is already trading. Check it on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. But as they bring a lot of value to the Polkadot ecosystem, and as their metaverse and NFT stuff is also in the future of crypto, I expect them to have a rather a little bit bigger market cap. I mean, some of you could also argue maybe 500 million is a bit low. I can also go with 600 million. It's fine. Does not change that much into the price. But I decided to go with 500 million. So for the first, I don't know, maybe half year after the Parachain slot is secured and the tokens are distributed. So this is my expectation for the market cap. Coming to the circulating supply, I expect it to be around 210 million by the time the Parachain slot auction rewards are distributed, or the linear distribution starts. I guess around that time, and for the within the first few months there after that, then they will have a expected circulating supply of 210 million. Again, this is a personal opinion, and you have to really dig into their documents and look at the release schedules of all that. I did that a little bit, and so I think this is a number that you can assume for the circulating supply. Continuing, well, the max supply, we talked about that. Then here the ratios are, well, less interesting in this case, but coming again to the price expectation, low, medium, high. So currently the Efinity token is trading about $1.50, and this should be our lowest price expectation. They should not go any lower than that in the future. So 150 is the lowest expectations. I think it's reasonable for the token to definitely go below $2, $2.38 I calculated here, might also be $2.50, and as a maximum expectation of $3.50. That would make a lot of sense for this token. That would all in all rank it between spot 250 and 120 by all tokens and currencies ranked by market cap, which is also very reasonable for a project like this one that really brings some utility, or is trying to bring a great deal of utility in the future. And if it all works out and they really develop this new token standard, then I'm way more bullish than now on this project. But for now, I think this is really reasonable. They have also a lot of Twitter followers and a lot of Telegram users, but unfortunately their code is not open source, so they don't have that much GitHub activity. Actually, they have no GitHub activity. At least I didn't find anything. So all in all, I'm from the social sentiment side, I am also rather bullish on this project. I rate it 7.5, so it's bit more than ASTAR and Parallel Finance, just because of the NFT metaverse thing, and they also got a big community backing them. So yeah, rather bullish on the social sentiment side. And now let's summarize this. What can you expect? So if you contribute to Efinity for one DOT, which is currently at $40, if it fell over the last week from 50 to 40, you can expect around 55 to maybe 60, and if you're really lucky, $65 in EFI rewards. The sentiment here is quite positive, so I think there is a lot of opportunity for Efinity to become a dominant player in the Polkadot ecosystem, especially if they develop the new Paratoken standard and also the metaverse and NFT thing as is definitely a technology that has a lot of future potential. Well, it's a little bit less rated than for MANTA token, for example, because there I just feel that the sentiment is a bit higher for the privacy reasons. It's like, but also very good sentiment for Efinity, and all in all, I would rate it AA. but I would invite you to make up your own mind about that. Because if you're really bullish on NFT and Metaverse, then this is a AAA token for you, and you should definitely get into that. And if you decide to contribute to Efinity, just tell me. Let me just tell you. Right now, it does not look like they are going to win in this auction batch, but there's a lot of things that can happen. But of Efinity, not quite sure. Currently, there's the battle between CLOVER, Finance, and MANTA network, which is for me kind of understandable. I don't really understand why so many people contribute to CLOVER Finance, as this project has some big problems under the hood, so to say, and yeah, whatever. Still hoping that MANTA will win this battle, and I don't know if Efinity is going to join this battle, but for now it does not seem like it. But then again, there's still about 2.5 weeks to go, so a lot of that can happen. A lot of things can happen. So that's why I overall rate the project AA. Got some great potential and very interesting project. And so again, that was basically it. If you want to contribute, feel free to use the link in the description below. You can contribute via Parallel Finance, and you will get an extra 2.5% on your para rewards for every contribution you do. If you decide to contribute to other projects, like for example, you can also contribute to all the other projects through the Parallel Finance link. And if you want to contribute to MANTA, I have a MANTA link in the description below. And also I will link the Excel sheet of this the spreadsheet on Google Drive below, so that you can use it and do your own research and make up your own mind, play around with the numbers, and yeah, just have fun. So I wish you good luck with the auctions. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.